Chosen one, welcome to this moment, because it's not just another message, it's a divine summons. You didn't land here by accident. This is not random. This is alignment. Something in your spirit has been stirring, hasn't it? That quiet inner knowing. That feeling that something's got to break, shift, release. And guess what? You just stepped into the confirmation you've been praying for. Let me speak this over you clearly. You are not average, you are not overlooked, and you are definitely not behind. You are chosen, anointed, and handpicked for a move so massive, it's going to shift more than just your life. It's going to shift everything connected to your name. But here's the truth. Heaven is calling, and it's calling now. This is your moment to get activated, to get aligned, to rise with no apologies. Because you've cried enough. You've shrunk long enough. You've questioned your own power for the last time. Now is the time to reclaim it all. Not tomorrow, not later. Now so lean in, lock in, and don't scroll past. Because what's about to be revealed isn't just information, it's transformation. You're not here by mistake. You're here because destiny just knocked, and you're finally ready to answer. Let's go. Looking for purpose and peace? Hit subscribe and start the journey. You've been entrusted with divine purpose, but something unseen is pulling your energy downward like invisible chains. This isn't a gentle prompt, it's a spiritual directive. What you keep hiding in your heart, justifying in your mind, or tolerating in your daily life is not sacred. It's sabotage in disguise. It's not comforting you, it's draining you. And now, the call is urgent. Release it. The longer you cradle what God has already marked as expired, the further you drift from your alignment. There's a weight you've grown used to, a cycle you've normalized, but heaven isn't silent anymore. That outdated belief, that soul-draining dynamic, that obsession you won't surrender, it's blocking your access to everything that's already waiting on the other side of your obedience. This isn't correction to crush you. This is instruction to cleanse you. Your expansion demands a shedding. Transformation cannot coexist with toxicity. You've prayed for answers, but the delay isn't in the heavens, it's in your grip. Step beyond the screen. Join and help light the way for others. You weren't chosen to stay chained. You've been preserved to break cycles, not serve them. That comfort zone that secretly poisons your vision. It ends now. This is not a season to hesitate. It's a moment to obey, because every time you hold on to what's dying, you suffocate what's being born. When the divine gives a directive, the aligned don't negotiate, they move. Your rest is not a pause, it's a portal. And what surrounds you in sleep is either supporting your elevation or siphoning your essence. While your body disconnects from the physical, your spirit is still transmitting, receiving, battling, expanding. And if your environment is contaminated with spiritual clutter, emotional echoes, or unclean remnants, your energy is being invaded, not recharged. You've been waking up with heaviness that logic can't explain, drained before the day begins, mood shifting before the clock hits sunrise. That's not random. You're under spiritual interference, and it's time to clear the static. The unseen has been feeding off your vulnerability while you sleep, not because you're weak, but because your spiritual current is so potent, it draws both purpose and parasites. Feel God's love stirring within you. Don't let it stop there. Hit the super thank you button and sow a seed of $20 or more. That simple act can ignite hope, heal hearts, and carry His love further than you imagine. You were made to shine His light. This is your moment. Be the miracle someone's been praying for. Let heaven move through you. Your atmosphere matters. What lingers in your space while you dream has consequences. That object you never questioned, that emotion buried in your bedding, that energy left by someone who no longer belongs, all of it is affecting you. You're not imagining the unrest. You're sensing the need for spiritual boundaries. Take authority. Reclaim your nights. Prepare your rest like you prepare for battle. Because in this season, the ones called to rise must guard even their stillness. What happens in your sleep sets the tone for your power, your peace, and your protection. This is your reminder. Sacred people don't sleep in unsafe places, energetically or spiritually. Clean it, seal it, command it. What's pressing on you right now isn't just tension. It's a spiritual recalibration, cloaked as chaos. You're not overreacting. You're not too sensitive. You are awakening in an atmosphere that's actively trying to suppress what's rising in you. You've adapted to a kind of invisible pressure that drains your spirit daily, yet you still keep moving. But functioning while fractured isn't strength, it's survival mode, and divine order is stepping in to dismantle what's been disguised as normal. This isn't random discomfort. It's resistance to your elevation. That heaviness you keep brushing off, those sudden mood swings, the mental exhaustion, it's not just stress, it's interference. You've been placed in the refining fire because what's inside you threatens the systems around you. Your assignment is too potent to be left unchallenged, and while it may feel like you're unraveling, you're actually being rewritten from the root. You haven't been cursed, you've been chosen, and that targeting is confirmation. Now is not the time to retreat. It's the time to wake up and war differently. No more adapting to dysfunction. No more mistaking spiritual warfare for personality flaws. You are not broken. You are being rebuilt. And what's been draining you? It's about to be dismantled because divine clarity is rising in you like a command that cannot be ignored. Your living space isn't just shelter, it's a reflection of your spiritual state. If something feels off in your environment, it's because it is. There are hidden disruptors in your space right now that are blocking the alignment you've been praying for. And the shift begins with awareness. First, disarray. Disorganization in the physical realm mirrors misalignment in the spiritual. When your environment is overcrowded with noise, stillness has nowhere to land. Second, spiritual residue. Items gifted in manipulation, symbols from closed doors, remnants from chapters God has ended. These carry emotional frequencies that keep looping old energies. And third, unprocessed sorrow. That room where you held in screams, where tears soaked the silence, where your spirit collapsed behind a smile, those vibrations linger until they're cleansed. Your room cannot hold new light if it's still absorbing old shadows. Rearranging furniture won't fix what needs to be released spiritually. Clean with intention, clear with authority. Speak over your space like it's sacred, because it is. Your atmosphere must match your destiny. Reclaim it. Your inner world has been crying out for release. You feel it in your chest, your sleep, your thoughts. The build-up, the weight, the tightness that no external wind can fix. That's not just emotional residue. That's unpurged energy still echoing through your frequency, anchoring you to what you've already outgrown. Your soul is sacred ground, but it's been buried beneath storylines that no longer serve you. This is not a punishment season, it's purification. You've been asking for ascension, but ascension requires shedding. That internal heaviness isn't just grief or regret, it's data from past versions of you that must be discarded. Bitterness cannot breathe where vision lives. Fear cannot travel where truth is leading. Step beyond the screen. Join and help light the way for others. You're not being asked to be perfect. You're being asked to be pure. Not in the surface sense, but in vibration, in intention, in spiritual coherence. Your next level won't tolerate what you've been emotionally hoarding. The path forward demands a lighter soul. And that's why everything misaligned is crumbling. It's not collapse, it's clearance. You're being carved for clarity. You're not falling apart. You're finally being freed. You've carried the weight long enough. That tie, emotional, habitual, energetic, isn't a bond anymore. It's an anchor. And time's up. The universe isn't nudging gently anymore. It's raising the alarm. What you refuse to release is tying you to a system that is already crumbling. You can't cross into what's next while holding on to what's expired. The attachment feels familiar, but it's a cage disguised as comfort, and your soul knows it. The moment for negotiation has passed. What you're clinging to is slowing your access to alignment. This isn't fear-based. This is truth-based. Elevation requires separation, and the invitation is now. You weren't created to stay stuck in loops you've already learned from. You're not being asked to let go to punish you. You're being commanded to move because you've outgrown where you've been anchored. And if you keep resisting, it's not just growth you'll miss. It's your entire next level. You don't need more time. You need obedience. This isn't about what's easy. It's about what's essential. If you don't cut it, it will cut you off. That's the reality. What's approaching isn't coming slowly anymore. It's pressing in with force. The shift is real, and access will only be granted to those who've refined their spirit, cleared their emotional residue, and returned to their core. This is not a vague idea. It's a vibrational reality. You've trained for certifications, practiced your skills, but now the preparation is internal. Are your thoughts aligned with purpose? Are your daily actions rooted in clarity, not just ambition? Spiritual readiness is not performance. It's posture. It's your soul choosing truth over narrative, integrity over image, frequency over fear. The new dimension isn't waiting for perfection. It's seeking coherence. What you attract next will not be based on effort alone, but on energetic match. This is not about proving worth. It's about stepping into resonance. Feel God's love stirring within you. Don't let it stop there. Hit the super thank you button and sow a seed of $20 or more. That simple act can ignite hope, heal hearts, and carry His love further than you imagine. You were made to shine His light. This is your moment. Be the miracle someone's been praying for. Let heaven move through you. The invitation isn't for everyone. It's for those who've released the noise, silenced the ego, and chosen the unseen over the superficial. If your environment still echoes chaos, clean it. If your relationships drain you, audit them. If your habits delay you, shift them. The elevation is now, and the gate won't remain open forever. This is the threshold. The seat has been prepared, but only the aligned can sit in it. The old patterns are loud, yes. The past calls like a siren. But this time, if you listen, you lose more than momentum. You lose alignment. Your next level has a cost, and it's not money, status, or hustle. It's surrender. Surrender to truth, to calling, to what your soul already knows must be released. You've stood at this line before, only to turn back out of fear. But this moment carries weight. This time, there is no cushion for delay. You either choose to evolve or you choose to repeat. And repetition now comes with consequences. What was once a lesson is now a limitation. You're not being pushed to let go because it's dramatic. You're being required to let go because it's divine. This is no longer a test of willpower. It's a test of trust. Can you trust what's waiting enough to release what's fading? Can you stop worshipping your wounds long enough to walk into wisdom? Don't mourn what's being stripped. Honor what's being prepared. Because hesitation here doesn't just pause your journey, it postpones your purpose. Step forward. The weight won't follow you into what's next unless you drag it. And you weren't made to drag, you were made to rise. Choose well. You've been waking up more tired than when you went to sleep, carrying a weight you can't name and a fog you can't shake. This isn't about your schedule, it's about your soul. What's happening during your rest isn't just physical recovery anymore. You're stepping into deeper realms while unconscious, and something is slipping through the cracks. The disruption you feel in the mornings is proof. Your nights are being invaded, not by imagination, but by interference. Your resting hours have become a point of spiritual vulnerability. While you sleep, your boundaries drop, and if your space is unguarded, emotionally, energetically, atmospherically, then interference takes root. That late-night spiral, that background noise full of distortion, those digital frequencies you absorb before bed, they're not harmless, they're entry points. The chaos you consume before you close your eyes shows up as confusion when you wake up. And now, it must stop. You've been assigned the authority to govern your night. Speak protection into your surroundings. Cleanse your space with intentionality. Set the tone for your sleep like it's sacred, because it is. Your nights are not a pause, they're a passage. And what you allow near you while unconscious determines what rises with you at dawn. It's time to silence what drains and amplify what restores. Every space you inhabit responds to your frequency, whether you realize it or not. Nothing in your environment is neutral. What surrounds you is either amplifying your spirit or siphoning your strength. That room you avoid, that untouched corner, that pile of what you haven't released, it's not just physical, it's spiritual noise that clouds your clarity and dulls your discernment. You are being called to refine your space like it matters, because it does. Stagnation thrives in environments you ignore. God is highlighting the hidden buildup, not to shame, but to shift. If your environment is chaotic, your alignment is constantly under attack. The atmosphere around you shapes the access within you. You don't just live in a room, you live in a mirror of your internal vibration. Start clearing now, not as a chore, but as a consecration. Purge what no longer carries purpose. Rearrange what's become spiritually stale. Fill your space with what supports your expansion. If you want to receive divine insight, the portal must be pure. Your space should reflect your future, not your past. Clean it with purpose or carry the cost of its silence. You keep feeding cycles that were already buried. That mindset you revisit when no one's looking, that bond you won't sever even though it stings every time. It's draining you in the shadows. And the most dangerous part? You've convinced yourself that tolerating it is compassion. But God already ended what you're still nurturing. There's no more room for compromise with patterns that contradict your purpose. When you fuel what was already pronounced finished, you block the blueprint he's been trying to activate. You're not being punished, you're being called higher, and higher cannot hold what is low in frequency, in loyalty, or in truth. Every moment you invest in what should have been released, you delay what was meant to rise in its place. Starve it now. The drama, the distraction, the excuse. It's time to dismantle the survival reflex and honor your soul's next phase. Let go, not with bitterness, but with sacred clarity. Anything that asks you to shrink does not belong in your expansion. Spiritual alignment doesn't happen accidentally. It is cultivated daily. You weren't built to drift. You were built to direct. And now you're being asked to embody your role as energetic steward, not just spiritual seeker. This means every day must begin with alignment, purification, and authority. No more passive mornings, no more emotional autopilot. Speak over your mind before the world speaks over your day. Root your thoughts in divine law before the noise invades. Move your energy before it gets stuck. Let the tears come if they must. Let the silence heal what noise has numbed. Cleansing isn't weakness, it's strength uncoiled. Then set the atmosphere. Declare what is allowed near you and what isn't. Your space responds to your voice. This isn't superstition, it's spiritual order. You are not a guest in this dimension. You are a transformer, and where you stand must reflect what you carry. Govern it, or it will govern you. The rituals of power are not in spectacle. They are in consistency. Get up, reset, command. You are not waiting for the shift. You are the shift. Now live like it. Not everyone will rise in this hour. Only those who made room. This shift is not selecting the loudest voice or the most public platform. It's locating the hearts that were willing to be refined. Those who released the old identity, surrendered the cycle, and followed the inner instruction when no one was watching. Those are the ones being accelerated. The alignment is quiet, but the elevation will be undeniable. This moment isn't about being visible. It's about being available to what's holy. The invitation has been extended for years, but now it's being withdrawn from the indecisive. Delay is no longer harmless. It's costly. Those who paused, who postponed their purification, who stayed chained to familiar pain while calling it process, those hearts will miss what's already being activated, because this is divine filtration. Those who obeyed the whisper are now standing under open skies, but those who ignored it will find the doors they prayed for already closed. What matters now is not how long you've been called, but whether you're ready to carry what's coming. There's no more time to ask for signs when you're already standing in the answer. You feel it in your chest, your breath, your sleep. Heaven has shifted, but you're still clinging to stillness as if it's safety. It isn't. Stillness is stalling when obedience has already been commanded. That pressure in your bones, that tension in your skin, that's not burnout. It's divine discontent calling you out of what you've outgrown. You've been told. You've been shown. You've had dreams that were not random and disruptions that were not coincidental. But you're waiting for lightning when God already moved in clarity. You're not confused. You're delaying. And delay at this level is dangerous, because when heaven transitions, it does not pause for fear. It opens a passage and watches who walks through. You don't need another word. You need to move on the one you've been given, not later. Now there's been an identity war happening inside you. You've worn names given by pain and lived out roles assigned by wounds. But none of that ever touched the blueprint heaven placed on your life. You were never called to be a reflection of your scars. You were called to be the embodiment of divine intent, unshaken, unapologetic, and undeniable. Every trauma tried to tell you who you were. Every betrayal tried to assign you a label. But those are not definitions, they are distractions. And now, the true self is rising from the ashes of every false narrative. The version of you that was born from survival must now step aside. The one built in divine memory is here to emerge. You are not the story of your setbacks. You are the architecture of prophecy itself, walking in human form. This is the season of identity reset. The real you, before the heartbreak, before the rejection, before the mask, is being summoned. You don't have to rehearse your pain to feel powerful anymore. Let the old narrative collapse. Let your true name echo louder. You're not becoming, you're returning. The blueprint is already written. All that's left is for you to step fully into it. Feel God's love stirring within you. Don't let it stop there. Hit the super thank you button and sow a seed of $20 or more. That simple act can ignite hope, heal hearts, and carry His love further than you imagine. You were made to shine His light. This is your moment. Be the miracle someone's been praying for. Let heaven move through you. You were never meant to shrink to fit someone else's comfort zone. That unease you feel when playing small, that's not doubt. It's divine disapproval. The space you're refusing to occupy is already echoing your absence. This isn't about ambition. It's about assignment. The role marked for your energy, your wisdom, your authority is vacant. And while you delay, pretending you're being modest, heaven is watching territory sit stagnant that only your voice can activate. This is not a suggestion. It's a summons. The crown wasn't crafted to sit in storage. The seat wasn't formed for your future self. It's for the now. You were born for impact, not invisibility. That hesitance, masquerading as humility, is costing lives, opportunities, and shifts only your presence can unlock. You are not here just to observe. You are here to lead. Stop asking for another sign. The throne recognizes your signature. Take your place, or the moment will move on. Heaven advances. Will you? Healing isn't about finding comfort in the familiar. It's about being honest enough to leave what still bleeds you. You cannot regain your strength in surroundings soaked in your breakdown. That space, that rhythm, that connection, it may have once felt safe, but now it stunts your growth. And here's the truth. If the room keeps reopening the wound, it's not part of the remedy. You've been spiritualizing endurance in toxic atmospheres, waiting for the environment to evolve when the instruction was always to exit. What used to hold you is now draining you. The soul knows before the mind admits it. When peace becomes elusive and presence feels heavy, it's not a coincidence, it's divine redirection. You weren't called to normalize pain. You were born to heal beyond it. And healing begins where false safety ends. Your voice was designed to disrupt darkness. That's why the battles tried to mute you early. Every painful chapter wasn't just an attack on your path, it was an attempt to silence your sound. But you weren't given a voice just to speak. You were given a frequency that shifts dimensions. And every time you hold back, the atmosphere you were meant to shift stays stagnant. This isn't about noise, it's about sacred vibration. Your words are keys. Your sound is structure. You've been given a sonic blueprint to break spiritual resistance, but fear has been dressing itself as caution. Doubt has been pretending to be discernment. No more shrinking. No more silencing truth to protect egos. The world is not waiting for another echo. It's waiting for your original tone. Let it rise. Let it roar. Let it rewrite what was once broken.